Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to create a policy that will use those patterns. So I go into my policy group, delete the policy if it already existed, go right hand mouse button, new. I want to create a log file entry. The file that I'm going to process is c:/oracle.log. I'm going to process it every minute, and the first time I deploy it down, I'm not going to process existing lines, I'm only going to process lines that appear after that. Then click on rules, and I'm going to add my conditions. So I'm going to put in there match Oracle errors, and this is where I put in the condition that I worked out. So I just copy and paste that again. Okay, so there's my pattern in. Now what I'm now going to do is a really handy feature is I can test this. So I'm going to create a file called oracle.log, if it doesn't already exist. Okay, we've already got some lines in there, so I'm going to leave the lines that are in there, and I'm going to add some to it. I'm going to take this as an example. Okay, I'm going to save the file. Go back to my policy. Okay, and I'm going to use that file in a second to test that my pattern works. So I've put my pattern in here. Now what's really nice here as well is if you forget what different regular expressions or pattern matching language you can use, if you click on the arrow to the right of it, it gives you a list of them all. So you go down to matching expressions. So there, if you've forgotten what the different symbols mean, they're all there for you. Okay, now I click on actions. And I'm going to generate a message if we find that type of line. I'm going to give it a severity of major. And what I want to do is I want to use some of the variables that I defined in my pattern matching language to form the message. So I'm going to take what's out there, and I'm going to put in there the variable which I defined that stores the error code message, which is txt. I'm going to put the application field. I'm going to use the name of the database for that, which we called DB name. And the object field, I'm going to use the error code, which I just called, I think, code. I'll just double check that in a sec. Click OK and click OK. Code. Okay, so I called it code. So I just need to go back and just make sure that's what I put in. Message code. Yep, that's good. Alright. Now, what I want to do here is I want to test that that pattern actually works. So I can click on it, click on the test button. That's the pattern that I want to check. And what I can do here is I can load a log file, a sample log file. So go down to drive C, find the log file that we just created, which we call oracle.log. Go, copy the lines in, so Control C, copy from file. Oracle.log. Go. Okay, and now I can hit the test patterns. So just to recap it, so you click on test patterns, click on copy from file, click on test patterns, and there we can see that it has that particular pattern didn't match, none of our patterns matched line 1, none of our patterns matched line 2, but it matched line 3 as we expected. And then if you double click on it, it shows you the actual line that was matched on, which is there, we got it there. It also shows you here in the variable section what different, see if I can resize that window. It shows you in the variable section which variables match which parts of the line. So we can see the DB name matched to counts and then code matched that, as we expected. So just to finish this out, I'm going to save that policy. So I'm going to call it my Oracle error file. Click OK. Deploy it. So I'm just going to deploy that on the management server. Click OK. And then to test it, I just need to add, I'm just going to add another line to the log file. So I'll actually add a few just to make sure. Just I'll change the error code just to make it a little bit more interesting. So I'll make that 149. Change the database name to SAP. File and save. I'll just close that in case I get a file locking issue.